And welcome back to the Delaware Boys Dynasty Football Podcast for your 11th episode. 10th episode was just posted. We're going to see how we do on it, man. Brian, 11th episode, crazy. Content keeps coming. As always, joined by AJ and Frankie. Fellas, welcome back. We appreciate you guys. Ryan, anything you want to say to the viewers before we get started?
Yeah, first of all, I got to call somebody out here. I know you're here. I know you want to. Can you please fucking come get this thing? Why do you not want this? It's a whole fucking trophy. All right.
Beautiful.
Literally got your name on it, waiting for you.
Waiting for you, Tanner. Congratulations.
Beside that, yeah, congrats, TK. But yeah, 11 episodes in, we're actually further along than I thought we were. I was surprised that was 10 the last episode. So
actually, Ryan, I'm sorry. We have another.
We're gonna keep coming with it.
Ryan, I apologize. We already have another episode. It is the 12th episode, not the 11th. But
we're behind.
Yeah, we're behind the video. We have 12 episodes. This will be our 12th episode. But we're going to start doing a little mini series. We are going to break down every division. We're going to start with the AFC West. Next week will be the NFC West, or next podcast will be the NFC West. We're going to go through it. Overs, unders on the win totals, who's going to win the division based off us four, what we think. Then we have some league statistics. We're going to see if we're going to do some over-unders on these teams based off what we think they're going to do for the year. Ryan, you have the over-unders on the Vegas win line. Let's pull that up and let's talk about it. Let's jump into this division, the loaded AFC West.
All right, we're just going to kick it off with the highest win total. Yeah, so we got at the highest, we got the Chiefs at 10.5 games on the season. So basically, are they going to win 11 or are they going to be stuck at that 10-win mark?
But I think the Chiefs will probably go over that. I can see them definitely going over. I think they're going to win the division. I know a lot of people are on the Chargers, but I think Patrick Mahomes is the king. I think if you're going to come for the king, you better not miss, as they say. And the Chargers are very good at missing. They usually don't take the opportunity and seize it. So I definitely think the Chiefs are a safe bet going over 10.5 on that.
I agree with Frankie. I think it's going to take 12 wins to win that division. That whole division is going to beat each other up. But until somebody dethrones Patrick Mahomes, I'm picking the Chiefs year in and year out.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with it too. I think they easily win 11.
I agree with AJ. I think 12 wins is the magic number, if not 13. This division is loaded. It is going to be a bloodbath. I don't have the Chiefs winning the division this year, based off just from a talent perspective as an overall roster, but I do have the Chiefs winning 11 games. Ryan, what's the over-under on the Chargers?
Chargers are at 10.
See, I have the Chargers winning the division, so they're gonna. I personally think they're gonna smash 10.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are going to go over as well. Again, I think the Chargers are going to charger. I can't necessarily see them making a deep run yet. I love the additions in their offseason, but I am going to be on the train of until I see the Chargers do something. The Chargers are the Chargers. So let's just 10, I think, is a good number for the Chargers. I could honestly see that being a push more than anything else, but I think that's a safe over bet still is over 10 for the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way again. 10 seems like a good number for them. I can see them definitely being the wild card one. Obviously not winning the division behind Kansas City, getting that 5 seed, pairing up against the weakest division winner, which isn't really weak in the AFC. But I think 10's a perfect number for them.
I just want to say, yeah, I think they're a great team. Frankie said that they don't seize opportunities. Staley had the highest fourth down percentage to go for all season last year. So I think they're trying to go for it whenever they can, to be honest. They want to win games, and I like the way they play football. They literally play 4-down ball most of the time in big game, in like big time situations.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with you, Deli. I love it, and I basically love everything about the Chargers except for the fact that they're the Chargers.
Yeah, true.
It's genuinely just like you don't, if you know a bee stings you, you don't walk into a beehive. So
True.
I'm not gonna until I see the Chargers do something outside of what the Chargers have always done. I'm just gonna assume they're gonna charger it up.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
overtime game against Kansas City being up 10 with like 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, that was rough. And then obviously the Oakland game, that was
The
rough too.
Oakland game, like you can't.
Yeah, that was rough.
That is the most chargerific thing I've ever seen in my
I
entire life.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
for sure.
But this, man, it's hard to take note of just how good this roster keeps getting.
I know it's
And
insane.
the fact that they fired their whole training staff and hired a new one. Thank you, God.
Thank God.
It was the biggest offseason move by any team in the NFL.
Easily. How did they not do that after they damn near killed Tyrod? Like, I don't understand how they all
They
kept
should
their
still be
job.
getting money.
I don't know.
Like,
But
it's got to be great to be on an NFL team. I just got to say that, because you can do a lot of stuff messed up and just keep your job.
But you are right, man. Pat Mahomes is king. He's king of the NFL right now. No questions asked. But with the defense not being a stellar defense anyway, losing pieces on that side of it, then losing your most explosive playmaker in Tyreek Hill, you got to hope that Andy Reid and Bahini and Pat Mahomes can create magic. And I mean, I don't doubt they're going to win games. But, man, this Chargers roster is way too loaded not to bet on.
Stacked.
True.
Broncos.
Pushing though. Broncos are also at 10 as well.
Yep.
I have them at a push or even under on this. We'll see. It's so hard to believe that we can have a division with 3 teams more than 10 wins is tough. Someone's got to be bad.
Ryan, check your mic, bro.
Oh, I'll steal his audio. But yeah, I think this is probably where we'll start to split a little bit, because like I said, the Chargers I could see pushing at 10. I could see the Broncos actually coming second in this division and going over that 10. I could see them getting to 11, 12 wins and competing with the Chiefs for the number 1 spot in that division. I really like Russ. I know a lot of people are a little bit down on Russ, talking about some of the stuff that the numbers he put up in Seattle near the end of his tenure there in Seattle. I'm a big numbers guy, but I also think that he was kind of over being in Seattle, being in that Pete Carroll system, constantly having to acquiesce to Pete Carroll's demands of running the football, even when he's got banged up Rashad Penny and fat Chris Carson and all these other unreliable running backs back there. Pete Carroll's just like, we got to keep pounding the rock, pounding the rock, pounding the rock. Russ, I think he just got tired of it. So I'm very excited to see this Broncos team. I think they're going to be near the top of the AFC West for the whole year.
They're not a huge upgrade, but Seattle's O-line was probably one of the worst O-lines I've seen for quite some time. And you're right. There's always the hashtag let Russ cook. Pete Carroll is not that kind of guy. In college, he wanted to run the ball, establish a run game. After Chris Carson's 15th injury, you know what I mean? It was hard to establish anything with, you had DJ Dallas, Travis Homer, Rashad Penny was never healthy. They conflicted a lot from behind the scenes, from what I think happened. Now he gets a fresh start, an all-pro QB, Super Bowl winning QB. He's been there in the big games. He knows how to handle big games. This Broncos roster got a lot better with Russ. I think he can utilize what he has. I'm with you. We have a bet, me and AJ do, at 9 wins. So I'm going to easily take the over on 10. I agree with you. I think the Broncos are the second best team in this division.
Yeah, see, I'm on the under here. I think they're kind of like the Steelers of the West, right around that 500 area. But like I said, I got them getting 8 wins max. I could even see a 7-10 season out of Denver. I know a lot of people, including myself, said they're a quarterback away. They got their quarterback in Russ. I just am not in love with the team. I don't know what it is. I don't think this team is much of an improvement over what Russ came from in Seattle. DK and Lockett, I'm taking them over Judy and Sutton. The O-line, PFF, I think had Seattle 29, Denver was 25th. That's not much of an upgrade. Denver does have a better defense, but overall, I don't think it's much of an upgrade. When you're going into a whole new environment, it's hard to tell. I mean, we're months out. We don't know what's going on. There's a chemistry there with these new wideouts with Russ. Um, some reason my gut's just telling me 7 or 8 wins with this team. It's just, and that's why I stick to my gut.
Yeah, I don't know how much you got out of me before I cut off, but yeah, I don't know. Did you hear anything I said, or did I just get cut off right after I said the over under mark?
You got cut out right after, so go ahead, get your spiel, bro.
Yeah, no, I give them. I think it's either a push or under. I don't think they go over. It's hard to believe any 3 teams in a division can win 10 plus. I'm sure it's been done before, but I don't know. Much to AJ's point, it's like outside of Javante and Russell on the offensive side, I mean, Ju's still improving. Colton Sutton's pretty good when needed, but like nothing spectacular there. I prefer probably DK and talent-wise, DK and Lockett over both the receivers there. So we'll see how it goes with Russell. But he'll be in an advanced system with I just had his name. It's gone now. Nathaniel as his head coach now. He likes to switch.
Hackett.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see Russell in a new offense, but I don't think that they can get to over 10.
That leaves us with the Raiders.
Yeah. Raiders, I'll kick it off on this one. They're 8.5. I think for me, honestly, it's an easy under. Somebody's gonna get chewed up and spat out in this division. It's bound to happen. I think it's definitely the Raiders. Their defense isn't all that great. Offensive weapons aren't. Well, they got Adams, Waller, and Jacobs. All right, sure, but like I don't know. It just doesn't stack up the same to any of the other 3 in the division.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are very much in Las Vegas mode. They pushed a lot of their chips to the middle of the table, and I don't think they have the hand that they think they have. They're kind of just bluffing. Adams is a great addition, and I think if Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver in the NFL still, like he has been with Aaron Rodgers, I think he can help elevate that team pretty well, probably over that 8.5 win mark. I do think a lot of Devontae Adams' success was tied into his rapport with Aaron Rodgers. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I definitely would take the under on the Raiders at 8.5. I can definitely see them picking in the top 10 in the draft next year.
I can see that as well. I can see them looking for their new franchise quarterback next year with a QB loaded draft coming out. I can see that happening. I mean, I do like the acquisition of Chandler Jones there to go along with Max Crosby. I think that's a little not getting as much love as people should be giving them. I mean, obviously,
tough when Khalil Mack and and Bosa are in the same division.
Right. Like that's a vision. They're coming after them quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And that's another thing towards Russ. I mean, that O-line didn't get any better, and the defensive lines in that division got better. But I mean, to stick with Vegas, I'm on the under as well. I could see them hitting 6 or 7 wins. Somebody's got to be at the bottom. You're not going to have 4 or 8 win teams, like especially in a loaded AFC conference. Like, I mean, there's 10, 11 good teams, like good teams, not great teams, but there's 10 or 11 teams. They're going to beat each other up all year.
Yeah.
Like you said, is Waller and Jacobs going to do anything to give them that leap? Waller seemed to break down real early last year. Jacobs, I mean, they declined his 5th-year option for a reason. Adams can only do so much. I mean, Adams is going to be Adams. He's going to put up the numbers, but is Carr going to be able to take that step? I don't see it. I mean, the history of New England coaches leaving Belichick really hasn't panned out. Right. So I'm saying the under. I can see 7 wins being the max. If they got 8, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm saying right in that 6-7 win total.
I agree. I'm on the under as well. I do think that the Raiders do bring an interesting offensive standpoint this year. McDaniels is now your head coach, an offensive-minded guy. Been with Belichick for I can't even give you an exact number, but it's a long damn time. A great offensive scheme guy. I think he can get a lot out of this offense. But what Deli said, I don't know if they have the worst defense in the division. The Chiefs' defense is suspect in areas as well. The addition of Chandler Jones is nice to play alongside Max Crosby. Secondary, they're okay. Nothing great. And I think if they do take their step offensively, I think they can be an exciting team to watch on Sundays. But I don't see them, like you said, somebody's got to get beaten down and battered. And I have it being the Raiders, unfortunately. But now let's see what we got. I got some stats for you guys. Let's start with the Chargers. So the Chargers ran a very fast-paced offense. They had 1,128 plays ran last year, third highest in the NFL, behind the Rams and the Bucks. Per possession, they ran 6 plays per possession. Let's say, obviously, we know Herbert's stat line. They're 4,800 passing yards, had almost 2,000 yards rushing on the ground. Well, this is the number I want to get down to. So let's say this. The number 2 offense in the league last year averaged 31 points per game. Over, under on the Chargers. Let's say 30 and a half. Can they replicate the 31?
I go over. I mean, they made improvements to the defensive side of the ball, so that just puts the ball in the Chargers' hands more. I don't see they didn't lose anybody. As far as the offensive side, I mean, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Austin Eckler. I mean, I could see 4 touchdowns a game plus a field goal out of them on an average.
Yeah, I could see 31's tough. I could definitely see more like 28. I could, with the improvements they've had on their defense. Obviously, I think they're going to be maybe involved a little bit more low-scoring games, try to do a little bit more ball control. And it's tough to score 31 points when you're doing a little bit more ball control offense. But I like what they've got in their backfield with Spiller and Kelly backing up Eckler there. And I think that having Allen and Williams there is going to make it a little bit easier to run the ball as well. So I could see them maybe dropping as far as average points down 28, maybe not at that 31 mark, but still not that huge of a step back.
Yeah, no, I'm with Frankie. 30 seems like a big number to me. That's 4 touchdowns a game. And you're right, the defense gets better. They're not going to have to score as many points. But given all that, at the same time, they're playing in a loaded AFC where they're going to have to put up points each and every game. But at the same time, 30 points a game, yeah, like AJ said, 4 touchdowns and a field goal every single game. That seems a little bit steep. That's a tough mark to reach for any team.
I want to say that I want to be that guy, and I want to say I'm going to push it. I agree with AJ.
You're gonna push your own stack. Come on, man.
All right, you know what? I'll take the over. I'm going to take the over. I'm only going to say that because defense isn't the same as it was 15 years ago. Defense wins games. Defense is huge for sure, but you can't go out and win a game solely based off defensive performance. You have games where you can, but a full season, it doesn't happen very often. There's no 2000 Ravens defense. The league is a passing league. The league is a scoring league. And with Herbert taking that step into, year 3, Herbert is a stud. This offense is loaded. The offensive line got better. There's nothing about the Chargers that I don't like on the offensive side of the ball. Deli brings a good point. There's 12 teams in the AFC that I think are good teams, and they're going to put up and produce. I'm going to take the over. I think they're going to have another stout offensive year.
You said that there's nothing that you dislike on this offense. Well, for fantasy purposes, with that, who do you like at tight end? Because there is not a single tight end on this roster that I would want to roster in fantasy.
Okay, they're an asshole.
That was a genuine question. We're talking
that's fine.
Here.
That's fine. Okay, so yes, they don't have a good tight end, but when we're looking at it from a perspective, a very under.
Good. They don't have a usable tight end.
No. I'm talking about other aspects of this offense. Obviously, no usable tight end. Like, I mean, none of us really care about Gerald Everett. I mean, he's
60 targets every year he's played. I mean,
right. I mean, he's gonna be. He's not usable every week in fantasy.
I was gonna say 60 targets isn't great. If you told me he had 60 catches every year he played, I'd be like, okay,
Right.
that's something.
And that's fine. And like I said, I get that. But I mean, for the NFL base, he's an average to below average tight end. He's okay. But
I don't hate their tight ends for the regular football purposes, but we're talking fantasy, and you said you liked every position on that offense. Tight end's a position on that
okay,
offense.
Frankie, you're right. You got me. Excuse me. Sorry for being so vague. But
I'm trying to help the fans here, man.
But the wide receivers, talk about Keenan Allen. He had the most routes won against any kind of coverage last year in the NFL. Going into his year 30 season, obviously he's going to break down at some point. I do not think it is this year. Keenan Allen showed me that he can still win in the NFL. Mike Williams, the coming out party, did get paid. But I like Mike Williams as the wide receiver too. I think it's a very underrated wide receiver combo, a 1-2 combo. In fantasy perspectives, the second best running back in fantasy in Austin Eckler. Like you said, he has a very, I'm not as high on the Spiller as I was going into the year or last year, but he's a decent complimentary back. Offensive line upgrades, like I said, I think this offense is going to put up points. I'm all in on the Chargers.
I like the Spiller acquisition. I wasn't that high on him, but I think it's a good fit for him. They've been looking for that between the tackles, running back. I mean, Eckler is 27. He's getting up there in age. Last year was his biggest workload. I think they went out and got Spiller for that purpose.
Yep.
I mean, he had a dozen rushing touchdowns last year. I think his highest before that was 3. That's definitely going to regress. I could see more like 7 being realistic. Definitely going to stay involved in the passing game. There's no doubt about that. But I think the acquisition of Spiller to relieve some of that is going to bring a lot of regression to Austin Eckler's fantasy value. I don't see top 3 fantasy for Eckler anymore. I see more, top 8, which is still completely fine with anybody that owns Austin Eckler fantasy. You can't be mad with the top 8 running back.
An RB1, yeah.
But in Dynasty, I think Spiller could be a good stash, and 2-3 years down the line, you might have found yourself a good running back 2 there.
You're right, though. 20 total touchdowns. I mean, that's a lot to ask anybody to replicate. I think that number will drop from like 20 to, let's say, 12, but I'm good with 12. I mean, like you said, the top 3 guy falls into the top 7, top 8. That's respectable. That's solid for your running back. The interesting team to talk about, you guys are high on the Chiefs, the number 1 offense in the league last year. Like I said, they were the number 1 offense, had almost 6,800 yards.
Hold up real quick, Chalmers, before we move on to Chiefs. I got a question for Deli. We talked about all these Chargers. Do you have any sleepers on the Chargers? Because I feel like with the Chargers for fantasy, it's a lot of guys that are pretty name brand, pretty up front. You don't really have to look too deep on the depth chart to find who you want on the Chargers. And with us being Delaware guys, we don't get a lot of West Coast football coverage. So is there anybody on the Chargers that you know of or that are high on that we might not be talking about too much?
As far as Chargers go, no, not really. This offense stays still stalemate. Nothing really changed. I think all the star players still star players. We've yet to really see Herbert support a wide receiver 3 to mention another one. So it's like, not really on the Chargers. Tough to say though.
Yeah,
I think in dynasty terms, I don't think Jalen Guyton or Josh Palmer is a bad stash.
Yeah, I love Josh
I mean, Keenan being 30, you got to look. Somebody's going to have to step up in a year or 2. That's what dynasty is about, stashing those wide receivers. Josh Palmer's only 22, 23.
I'm big on Palmer.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a lot, so we can't really say we're big on him.
Yeah.
I don't like what I've seen out of Palmer or Guyton too much. Those were 2 of the names I was hoping would get brought up if we were going to talk about sleepers. But either way, more or less for me to be like, I don't like those guys as
Yeah,
sleepers
I
because
wasn't going to mention. I don't like either of them either. I think they go out and either draft another one or sign one in the free agency before they depend on one of those two, to be honest with you.
yeah, and I also
Guyton did
Donald
good stretch.
Parham. Oh, go ahead, AJ. My fault.
No, Guyton did stretch the field quite a bit last year. He had some bombs.
I like his speed. I just don't think he's. I don't like you said. Keenan Allen's getting up there in age. I don't think he's anybody that could give you any type of Keenan Allen replacement. I don't think Mike Williams has that type of replacement value either. But yeah, and Darnold Parham, tight end, is a name that was getting thrown out in some fantasy circles I saw as a sleeper dynasty tight end. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
He's just gonna break
Yeah.
down so
That's
fast.
why I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot
Like
pole.
6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
Like I just don't see it happening. Those don't usually pan out.
I stashed Palmer in a lot of leagues. Last 5 games of the year, 4 games of 5 or more targets, scored 3 times in the last 5 games. Had a respectable finish in those 5 games as a wide receiver 4 on the roster. He's somebody that I stashed, and strictly because I thought Mike Williams was leaving. Obviously, that didn't happen for me. But I think he's an interesting stash, like you said, with Mike Williams turning 27 and Keenan Allen turning 30. We don't know the features of those guys. So I think he's an interesting stash. I like Palmer more than Guyton, just me personally.
Fair.
The next team, like I said, let's get into the Chiefs. Number 1 offense in the league last year, boys.
Damn, son, we gonna skip buys in the division or?
Talk about a bye. Go ahead, bro. You want to talk about bye weeks? This ain't practice.
No. Keep it pushing. Let's go to Chiefs.
6,750 yards of offense last year. God, that's a lot of offense. And let's see. They averaged 32 points per game. The more interesting offense in the league. It's going to have to be more of a collective group effort. Losing Tyreek Hill hurts, no doubt about it. Bring in Juju, draft Sky Moore. Mecole Hardman's still on the roster. Travis Kelce. Bring in Ronald Jones, former Buck, to split time with Clyde. So I'm going to start it off. I'm going under 32 points per game for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to go under 30.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm 30.
No, I disagree. I'm all on the Patrick Mahomes train, man. I don't know where all this Chiefs hate's been coming from this offseason. I feel like the Chiefs have been getting unrightfully shit on all offseason for whatever reason. I think people are drastically overvaluing the Tyreek Hill loss. We all love wide receivers. Me and Deli especially. You guys always say we're the wide receiver guys. The replacing wide receiver is not the most impossible task in the world, especially when you're going to do it by a platoon like the Chiefs seem to be doing. I think the Chiefs actually have a more well-rounded wide receiving group than they ever have since Patrick Mahomes been there. So I could see that offense maintaining a 30-point per game clip. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion, and with the best offensive head coach and one of the best offensive coordinators in the league. I can see that offense just continuing to hum, if not picking up speed. I love that. I love the Chiefs offense.
I will agree with you. Like I said, collective group effort is going to have to come. Probably the most well-rounded he's had, like offensive pieces around him. The only thing is like the time of possession and things like that. How long does it take them to score? Because with Tyreek Hill, he could take anything to the house with one play. You know what I mean? Sky Moore is supposed to be this field stretcher. Mecole Hardman already was a field stretcher, was never impressed by Mecole Hardman's talent, never really showed me anything that screamed, damn, I got to have this guy on my roster. I think
fair, but they were averaging the points they were averaging last year, and for like 5 weeks they were doing nothing but dink and dunk screen passes underneath to Tyreek Hill. So if you can eliminate 5 weeks of having to do screen passes and actually do some short game passing outside of bubble screens, I think that's going to open up your offense a lot, even to especially make scoring quicker as well.
And I agree with you. Like I said, I think there's still going to be an offensive unit. I don't see 32 points per game, me personally.
That's fair. That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of number. That's a high number. That's 4 touchdowns I mean, essentially 5 because the field goal doesn't get you there. That's hard to replicate, man. Number 1 offense in the league. And Pat Mahomes has had that feat 3 times in his NFL career. So I obviously know that it is possible for him to do it. I just think with this group and like I think the way that they're gonna have to change some schemes up with losing that explosive factor, I'm gonna take the under here.
Yeah, give me the under. Just losing Hill is tough. Mahomes will still survive, and history tells me that Mahomes is fine without Tyreek Hill. We'll see how that plays out for a full season. But the thing I want to touch on, Steven touched on a little bit, other than Kelsey, obviously Kelsey's going to have a monster season. Do you think that any of these wide receivers that are in this team can be like a wide receiver 1 on a fantasy team, or do you think they're going to produce a bunch of wide receiver 2, 3s out of that field? What do you think Juju or something like that can break out?
I think Juju can compete for low-end wide receiver 1. I can't see anybody being like Tyreek Hill level, top 5 wide receiver level fantasy production. I'm not saying Juju's going to get to wide receiver 1 numbers. I could see him being more of a high-end to mid-level wide receiver 2. And I can see maybe Hardman getting there. But I like Sky Moore a whole lot. So I think the wide receiver 1 on this offense is going to be worth having in dynasty or in fantasy this year. And I think Sky Moore is definitely worth a stash in dynasty for dynasty purposes.
I don't see any wide receiver 1s in this offense. I do agree that you can see Juju maybe crack the wide receiver 1 at the end of that, top 12. But I mean, another couple names you guys haven't even mentioned is MVS. They paid him a good amount of money. He's going to be involved. Justine Ross keeps making plays in OTAs. So that's Ross, that's Hardman, that's Juju, that's MVS. That's not even counting their best pass catcher in Travis Kelce.
Right.
They brought in Ronald Jones as a bruiser, relieve Clyde because he can't stay off or on the field because of all the injuries he's dealing with. That's why I went with the under 30. I think they're gonna try to, control the ball longer. They made some improvements on defense. Obviously not a top 16 defense in the NFL. I'm not saying that, but I do think that they're gonna kind of look a little different this year. Tyreek, I mean, yeah, you can replace wide receivers, but I don't think you can replace Tyreek on that offense. He was kind of like a staple of that offense. I mean, you always had to look out for Tyreek on there. Yeah, Sky Moore and MVS can open up that offense, but it's not Tyreek. I mean, Tyreek's where number 10 is.
I don't disagree with any of that. I just feel like teams already started taking Tyreek away last season when they started running that too high coverage. Like basically every team in the NFL converted back to running too high coverage because of Tyreek Hill. And obviously I think that's gravity that is insane. Like one player making defensive change their scheme like that is pretty crazy. But I feel like the Chiefs have already had to try to learn how to play without Tyreek Hill, and that was kind of what hindered their offense last season anyway. So that's where my Tyreek Hill loss not taking as much of effect is coming from, because a lot of teams already, I feel like, kind of figured that out last season, and the Chiefs didn't have an answer for it last season.
Yeah, those are fair points.
Yeah, I agree. And Deli, you asked if any wide receiver can crack a wide receiver 1. I don't see why Juju, depending on how the chemistry, goes with Pat Mahomes, because that's a huge thing as well. Chemistry with your QB.
He's married with his brother, so maybe that'll help.
Just got a free that from Brittany.
Come on, bro. You ain't got to do all that, man. But I see Juju being a top 20 wide receiver this year. He's had that feat 3 times in the first 4 years of his, or 5 years, of his career. I don't see where Juju can't go for, the same role he has with us. Obviously, may play a little bit more down the field than he did with Big Ben. But I mean, I could see 80 catches, 1,000 yards, and 7 scores, and that'll get you top 20 numbers. I think Kelce has a monster season, a season that we may not have seen before. Yeah, I'm saying my prediction for Kelce is 1,411.
I've seen that.
I don't think he's ever had 11 those numbers together. He might have. Like I said, I don't own Kelsey a lot, never actually. But
That's why I have him in every league you're in.
I mean,
So you think Kelsey is so do you think Kelsey is Kelsey and Juju are the only two skill position players worth owning on the Chiefs?
anytime I've seen,
Is that what everybody's kind of in consensus on?
Anytime I've seen, like I said, Mecole Hardman gave me bad vibes when it came to them drafting that burner after Tyreek Hill. I'm out on obviously Hardman. AJ does bring a good point. Valdez-Scantling did get paid a decent amount of money to come there. I do think he carves out a role. And a lot of rookies, it's hard for rookies to come in and dominate a room early. And I mean, Sky Moore is no Jamar Chase. I see Sky Moore going for like 500 yards his rookie year. You know what I mean? Possibly less than that. I mean, not less, but 500 yards is my number at Sky Moore where I'm sitting at.
And just to put a dot on your Travis Kelce point, he had 1,416 yards and 11 touchdowns in 2020. So that has been seen and done before by one Travis Kelce.
I would say, like I said, man, I know the yardage numbers has always been there. I know he's had double-digit touchdowns in seasons. I just think this
only twice. He's only done it twice, actually.
I think this might be Kelsey's best year. I'm all in on Travis Kelce in 2020.
So are you over under 11 touchdowns for Kelce then? Because that'll be the big number for Kelce, and that'll be basically the big number for the fantasy production on the Chiefs.
I'm over.
Travis Kelce's career high is 11.
I'm over
touchdowns.
I think Kelsey could lead the league in touchdowns this year. I'm over.
Ooh, okay.
I don't
what you
think
got,
it's a
AJ?
wild statement. I'm going under. I don't think it's a wild statement, but I'm going under 11. That's a lot.
It is.
What you got,
I think they're going to spread the ball.
Me? Give me the over.
Over 11?
One that Mahomes can 100% trust. So
yeah, I'm over.
I like it. I'm banging that over too. Actually, I think that's the big number to focus on for Kelce and the Chiefs is his touchdown total.
Now,
I'm
for
fantasy.
I'm the Kelce owner, the only one that took the under.
Yeah, you're a Kelce owner. Yeah. Now, 1,400 yards. That's a lot of yards to replicate.
I don't think he's getting the 1,400.
You know what I mean? Like I said, if he gets the 1,400, that's just an added bonus on top of the touchdowns I think he's going to score.
Well, yeah, you just said he's going to score 12 touchdowns. If he gets 1,500 yards, that's insane.
Yeah, for sure. I told you. I think he's going to lead the league in touchdowns this year. I'm all for it.
So you're going 15 and 12. We can mark you down.
No, I didn't say the yardage. I said 1,400 yards is hard to get.
The only thing we've never seen is just one more touchdown.
Yeah.
Now, what's the highest reception total he's ever had in a season?
102.
God damn.
Yeah, bro. He's had some numbers, man.
That's
No,
a
it was all,
lot.
yeah. Sorry.
He
Yeah,
hasn't had
105
lower
actually.
than 9. He hasn't had lower than 92 catches in 4 seasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say chalk him. I was gonna say chalk him in for 90 catches for sure.
Easy.
And what's the highest amount of targets he's ever had? Just curious.
150.
150.
Way too much on fucking Kelce. Jesus Christ.
Bro, dude,
He's goated. He's
dominating,
goated.
bro.
He got stuck.
All right. Sorry, guys. We did get a little stuck on Kelce. Actually, I think the easiest over in the division. Total yards last year was very, very low. Actually under 6,000. The Broncos had a total amount of yardage of 5,881 yards last year. 345.9 total yards per game. Leading them to under 20 points per game scored, 19.7. Defense held opponents to 18.9.
Doesn't fucking matter. It's all over now. Drew Luck over.
It's over, baby.
Bang
Smash
that
the over. Bang the
that over.
over. Them bitches are going to score. I'm going to say they average. I'm going to take a huge leap and say they average 26 a game.
I was going to say 25. So, yeah.
I'm going to say 26 a game. I don't think it's
So you think they're going to score a touchdown more a game basically than they did last year, which I think is fair.
Absolutely.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, a touchdown and an extra point. I'm saying a touchdown. You're saying a touchdown and an extra point.
Yep. And the beat writers are all in, man. They want Javonte to be their starting running back. They want Javonte to win this workload. If it comes out to be 70-30 favor of Javonte, let it ride, baby.
Yes, please.
Let it ride. I'm telling you, man, 26. That's my number I'm going with.
26 points per game.
Yeah, I'm giving them 25. They had 19 last year.
What was the over?
Over under is only 20. They only scored 19 points
Yeah.
Oh,
a
it's
game.
fucking easily over then. That's fucking
Right. But give me your number. I mean, like I said, you're playing an offense with Drew Lock, and then you're playing now in an offense with Russ.
Yeah, it might be right around there with you guys. I mean,
Damn, you hear that? Chalmers, our take made
like
the fire alarm
26
go off
a game?
back
I
there.
don't know. Somewhere out there.
Bro, what's going on in Milford, man? Somebody getting robbed?
It is.
Bro, you hear that?
Yeah,
I can hear
I hear
that.
it
Oh my
too.
God.
Oh man, Chalmers and I got them hot takes going. Got the fire companies
Me
responding.
and Deli might be under attack.
No,
AJ,
but I like
you're
the
the Broncos.
Broncos. I think the Broncos definitely going 25 points per game or more this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
AJ, you're the Broncos hater though out of the three. So I want to hear what you got.
I mean, Russ is definitely a touchdown better than Lock. I could see anywhere from that 24 to 26 range. Doesn't mean they're gonna win games.
Doesn't mean they're gonna win. Oh, but hey, they only gave up 17 points per game last year. That doesn't do it.
Then
That's what I'm saying, man.
Drew Lock should have went 12-5 or something.
Yeah, that just shows you how bad Drew Lock is. If they're averaging more points than they're giving up, and they
Where's the
most of
wins
their
at?
games.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, in all seriousness, though, man, like you said, this Broncos defense allows 18 points per game in a pass-happy league that we play in today. A lot of AFC teams, they get better. So, I mean, I'm going to scratch that number and we're going to throw those out the window and we're going to go. This is the best defense Russ has played with since his Super Bowl era. I mean, this defense is very good. One of the underrated defenses in the NFL that doesn't get talked about. And like you guys said,
Gregory, right?
Huh?
They added Randy Gregory.
They did. You guys talked about it. Deli said something about it. He said Judy is unproven, which is fair. I'm still high on Judy. Big fan of his coming out of college. Can get open on any corner in the NFL. His route running ability is insane. Just needs to work on the drops and needs to stay on the field. That high ankle sprain really took him out of it last year, and then he slowed off drastically. A lot of his targets were off percentage throw targets. It was a very high number from Drew Lock. I want to say it was like 58% of his targets that were thrown to him were off target. Cortland Sutton led the league in air yards last year. I think Cortland Sutton and Russ are going to actually mesh very well. Other than Marshawn Lynch, this is the best running back that he's played with. He will play with Javonte Williams. I love Javonte. I'm all in on the Broncos from a fantasy perspective as well. I think this is Judy's breakout year. I think it's going to be fun to watch him play football on Sundays.
I got a quick fun game for you guys. We're going to do Dynasty Fantasy Marry, Fuck, Kill. I'm going to give you three players. You got to marry, fuck, kill. All right. We're going Javonte, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Judy. Marry, fuck, kill.
I'm marrying Javonte. I'm not fucking any dude. Sorry.
It's
I'll
part
go
of the
ahead.
exercise, Chalmer.
I'm marrying fucking Javonte easy, fucking Sutton, and we're killing fucking Judy. Fuck Judy.
I'm killing Sutton, bro. Killing Sutton.
Me and Deli got the same list.
I'm killing Sutton, bro.
What you got, AJ? I know you're a Javonte hater.
No, I mean I'm marrying Javonte. I'll take the running back over those two average wide receivers. I mean I would take Sutton. I would marry fuck Sutton because of the value. I mean he's cheaper on the streets than Judy is. Judy's
Jay likes a cheap fuck in the street.
Yeah.
No,
I got a child and all. I gotta save the bucks.
Sorry,
all right,
just
man.
quick, interesting game. That's all I have.
All right, throw it up, man. Come on. We talked about the Chargers and the Chiefs. Let's go. Throw it up, man. Let's start with the Chargers.
What?
I'll give it to you. Same scenario. Eckler,
Mary fuck kill. Let's go. What you got?
Eckler, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams. We're gonna throw it up.
Oh, I'll start it. I'm marrying Mike Williams,
Ooh.
fucking Austin Eckler, and killing Keenan Allen.
Spicy. All right, so I'm going Marion Eckler, fucking Keenan, and killing Mike Williams.
Damn.
I'm gonna flop it. I'm gonna marry the same guy as you. I'm gonna kill Keenan though. I'm rocking with Mike, man. It's that time. I think we're towards the end of Keenan's dominance. I'm ready to fade Keenan as much as possible. I do think he gives you a winning roster for maybe a year, if maybe two. But I'm ready to sell Keenan. So goodbye.
What you got, Deli?
I'd probably fucking. It's so close though, dude. I would almost. I think I'd have to kill Mike Williams too. I just don't think that like Mike Williams is going to ask to win you a championship. I think Keenan Allen can as long as he's on the field. I think Keenan's due for 100 catches almost any season with Herbert. They have a pretty good connection, so
I like it.
Oh, now it's time. The Chiefs. I'm not even putting Clyde on there because that's an easy answer.
There's no situation for this one. You got to put Patrick Mahomes in it.
No,
yeah,
we're talking strictly skill guys.
And Sky
Kelsey.
Moore, like
Yeah,
what?
We're
gonna
going
be too
strictly
easy.
skill guys. We got Kelsey.
Okay.
We got Juju.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about the offseason acquisition. We're going to leave the rookie out of it. I'm going to let him play to evaluate. We're going to throw Marcus Valdez-Scantling in there.
I'm just
I'm
gonna
over it.
be faithful and stay married to Travis Kelce.
Easy one. Is
So
everybody
AJ's already
Kelsey?
married to Travis Kelce. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we're all gonna have the same three. It's marry Travis, fuck Juju, and kill MVS.
Yeah, easy.
Fair enough.
We're gonna move to the Raiders. We got
Yeah,
Jacobs, Devontae, and Waller. That's actually a conversation right there.
Jacobs, Devontae, and Waller. Yeah. I would
I'm
probably
marrying-
say
I'm taking
Go ahead,
Devontae. I'm taking
Yep.
Devontae. I'm killing
Okay.
Waller. I'm killing Waller, and got ride with my white boy. Got to take Hunter Renfro, baby.
he wasn't even in the
Oh,
he wasn't even in the
fucking list,
exercise.
homie.
He makes his
You're
own
over here
rules.
cheating on everybody.
He got his own list over here.
Man, just had to throw a white man in there. Jeez.
Rocking with my white boy.
Who was on the list, Ellie? You said?
Jacobs.
Jacobs,
Oh.
man.
Oh no, I'm killing Jacobs.
Jacobs,
I'm
son.
killing Jacobs.
Yeah, that
Jacobs.
one's Marion Adams. Killing Waller. He's 30, and I don't want a 30-year-old tight end. So give me
Well, pretty good stats on
the
that.
Jacobs fuck for a season.
Nah, bye Jacobs.
I thought
No.
we would have had somebody keep Waller alive, but I guess he's over 4. Poor guy.
Nah, Jacobs gone. Bye Jacobs.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jacobs.
well, let's dig into the Raiders a little bit. I know we basically just did. That's basically the most interesting part of the Raiders for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, it's time
but
to get into the Raiders.
let's get into it.
1 second. I had that screenshot. Let me find their numbers here.
Anybody
Okay.
else want a basketball game?
Stop.
Score update.
Okay. Raiders.
Last team.
Last team. They did go over 6,000 yards. 6,350 yards last year as a total offense. God, the Broncos are really bad. Holy shit.
Well, Drew Lock is
You got average receivers. It's hard to move the ball.
Hey, whoa, chill,
Oh,
man.
get out of here.
Las Vegas comes in at 18 last year. 21.8 points per game.
How much?
21.8 points per game. 18.
Good either.
But
I'm
like I
actually
said,
shocked.
I do like the offensive or the coaching addition of Josh McDaniels, who is an offensive guy. Although he runs that really complex shit, man. There's a very complicated playbook.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what Carr can do with it. It's curious to me when the full playbook will be open, because I don't think Carr can learn that playbook in an off season.
Ours pretty intelligent though.
He is.
I think-
No Nothing to call.
McDaniel's made an offense work for Tim Tebow. I think he can make one work for Derek Carr.
Sure, for sure. No arguments for me.
Damn.
I'm just saying. I didn't mean to be a dickhead. I'm just saying he won a playoff game with Tim Tebow against your Steelers.
Hey man, come on. Rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas, bro. Rest in peace. But
RIP to the homie.
And the Steelers because he killed Job.
Yeah, he did. Sure did. Palomalu looks slow as a bitch. But anyway, 21.8. Like I said, I think this is the most intriguing offense. I don't think I don't think we know exactly what the potential of this offense can be, full circle. I'm curious about this one. If I'm going to put the over and under, I'm going to round it up to 22. I'm actually going to go over as well on this offense. I think their defense is what's going to kill them when it comes to them winning games. Devontae Adams is huge pickup. They've had connection, or they've had chemistry at Fresno State, him and Carr. I think Renfro is a big piece as well. I like Renfro in the slot. I like Darren Waller. AJ brings up the point that he did slow down last year after that injury, which he did, no denying that. Jacobs, usable running back, serviceable. They did decline his fifth-year option, but I do think he has a running back to finish this season, top 15 guy that's serviceable. And I can't remember their off schedule outside their division. I don't think it's the best. I think it's mid-packed, if not like 20th in the league. Definitely some winnable games. Definitely some points can be scored on their end. I'm going to say 24 is their high. I'm going to say 24 points per game for the Raiders.
I'm going to go with the push on the Raiders. I know that's not the most exciting, but I think 3 touchdowns.
No, you can't push it. You didn't let me push it. You can't push it. Nope.
I didn't let you push your own stat, but sure, I won't push it. I'll go under then. I'm going to say 20 points a game, but I think 3 touchdowns is exactly where the Raiders are going to end up for the season. So, I see them losing a lot of games, and I see them needing to score points to keep up. So I think 3 touchdowns is exactly where they'll need to be. So 21 is where I'd say they'd be at, but since I have to take an under or an over, I'll go 20. Under.
I'll take the over. I mean, I think Adams and McDaniels is at least a point or two better than what they had last year. That's literally my only reasoning. Like we already talked about, they're going to be the bottom of the division. They're going to be down. They're going to have to get some garbage time touchdowns. I can see
they play the NFC West and the AFC South.
So they're going to score against the South. But anyway.
We'll put 40 up against Houston.
Yeah.
Good start. It's a great
don't sleep on Houston. That's some teams last year.
They do get Houston after a bye week, though.
But I see them being a point or two better than last year. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I have them over that solely because they're going to be behind in games. They have to score. That's if they're going to thrive, and if they suck, then fuck it. But I'll be willing to put money on the over more so than the under.
So 24. 3 scores, no field goal.
The Raiders will probably still mess up somehow, win 7 games, and end up with like pick 15 where they still can't get their quarterback. And that's just a typical Raiders move.
Yeah, I see them finishing in the bottom 10. They're pretty bad. That defense is trash.
There's some bad teams in the NFC.
Other than the defensive line, their defense is bad. Yeah.
They are bad. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Notes for the division? All right. Who's winning the division? We're gonna go through it. Deli, who you got winning the division?
Division winner?
Who you got, Deli?
I'm up. Shit. Listen, I'm big on Herbert. I'm big on Staley. The defense got better. They added J.C. Jackson and blanking. Khalil Mack, sorry. On 2 different levels of the field, you're looking at like a dominant player on both sides. So both levels is huge for a defense. I think they get better. Herbert's going to actually have some help on the defense, maybe getting a few stops here and there, I think the Chargers win the division.
AJ?
I'm sticking with the Chiefs, like I talked about at the beginning. Until somebody dethrones Patrick Mahomes or he retires, I'm picking Patrick Mahomes in any division he's in. Chargers are going to be right there. It's going to be a bloodbath, that whole division. They're going to beat up each other. But I'm taking Kansas City.
Frankie?
Yeah, my heart says Chargers, but my head says Chiefs. Love everything the Chargers have done, but I can't, again, like I said at the beginning, unless somebody can knock the Chiefs off, and I don't foresee it being the Chargers, I'm picking the Chiefs.
Deli, we're going to ride together on this one. The most notable acquisition for the Chargers is the new training staff. J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack is great. I don't think the Chargers will have the 29th ranked defense in the league this year. I think this is the step. This is the year Herbert takes that step. Frankie always said the Chargers are going to Charger. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But I think this is the year, man. Bolt up. Taking the Chargers.
It's just Chargers get better on defense and the Chiefs get worse. They lost Tyrann, who, like, say what you want, he's a huge part of that defense. He's gone now.
They lost Daniel Sorensen.
McDuffie's a baller.
I do like
stuff. That's an addition by subtraction.
I know. I'm stating he's a baller. I didn't say they got better.
I do like
Trent McDuffie. I do not think that losing Sorensen is a loss, though. That was a wild thing to just throw out there.
So I just want to ask one thing for everybody. Like, do you guys have any buys outside of, your top guys in the division, low key guys? That's what Dynasty's all about.
Yeah. I spoke about Josh Palmer from the Chargers. Everybody on here talked about the addition of Isaiah Spiller to complement Austin Eckler. I think that's a great stash. Those are I'll just speak solely on the Chargers. I'll let everybody else speak on anybody else they want to speak on. But those are two from the Chargers that I'm buying in on for sure.
Deli?
Any buys?
Yeah, mine. Go ahead, Deli. Sorry, my bad.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Yeah, Spiller. I was going to say Spiller as well. I won't touch on him too much because we kind of did. Spiller and Sky Moore, the two rookies that I think are the two most valuable ads in the AFC West. As far as guys who aren't rookies, I would say Hunter Renfrow is my biggest buy of the offseason in terms of wide receivers, just in general out of the AFC West. I like Hunter Renfrow a good bit. I have him in a startup league we just did together in this league that we just started as the 4 commission league. I got Hunter Renfrow, so I like Hunter Renfrow as a cheap buy.
Yeah, Renfrow is gonna be my guy. But I'll pivot. We touched on him a little bit already. Somebody's gonna be the deep ball guy for the Chiefs. We touched on already. MVS got paid that contract. I think they have a plan for him. Right now, you can probably buy him for dirt cheap. He's got some upside on the Chiefs offense with Mahomes. MVS is worth a low-key buy, even if it's just a flyer on your team. It's worth a shot in the dark.
Yeah, I like it. If I had a couple buys, my first one's Ronald Jones. I think he's going to get more touches there in Kansas City than most people think. I mean, Clyde, like we've already talked about, he can't stay on the field. Saw what Darrell Williams could do there. I think Ronald Jones could do just that, if not a little bit more. I also like Tim Patrick in Denver. I think he could be a solid flex options at times. I mean, Russ likes to spread the ball out. Tim Patrick, he's shown flashes of being good. I mean, I've compared him to like the AFC Van Jefferson. I mean, he's kind of like the same situation. He's always going to be that wide receiver 3, maybe wide receiver 2, depending on what poor roster constructed wide receiver group some team has. But I like those are my two, low key buys.
Another guy I just want to touch on. I'm not going to take too long. Going in like the end of the 3rd, 4th round of dynasty startups, rookie startups, excuse me. Josh Jacobs' 5th-year option was declined. Kenyon Drake, I don't love Kenyon Drake. His issue was he had 2 ACL tears at Georgia. I'm saying if you can throw a dart throw like on a 4th round on Zamir White, I think he's a decent stash. I think he's a I'm not saying he's going to ever be the starting running back for the Raiders, but if that what if does happen, get yourself a starting running back in the 4th round after next year. Somebody should throw a dart throw on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll get our schedules.
KJ Hamler. I don't hate KJ Hamler over Tim Patrick. But maybe that's just me though.
I didn't want to bring it up, Delly, but yeah, I like KJ Hamler over Tim Patrick too.
We are.
I like
Penn State,
I
baby.
love KJ Hamler coming out of Penn State, but that might be why I like KJ Hamler, because I liked him coming out of college. So
Injury too.
We'll get our schedules together. Finish this or keep going on this little mini series for the divisions. Next week we have the NFC West. Well, next podcast, I keep saying next week, but next podcast will be the NFC West, and then we'll go from there. Deli, anything you want to say before we sign out?
Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Y'all take it easy. We'll be back soon.
You throwing up the peace sign like you're cheating, man. I love it. All right, fellas, we're out.